In this video, we'll be taking a look at 5 MLB games happening on April 17, 2025, and providing you with free team picks and total picks for each one of those games, so 10 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released, so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these 5 NBA games after fully watching this video. One more thing before we start. If you would like to gain access to our best exclusive sports picks to take your journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below, where we offer our best single picks, parlay picks, and much more. Now let's get started. Arizona Diamondbacks versus Miami Marlins. In the final matchup of this 3-game National League set, the Arizona Diamondbacks are going head-to-head with the Miami Marlins on Thursday afternoon, wrapping things up inside Lone Depot Park. It's a midday showdown that closes the series, giving fans a last look at how these two squads stack up this week. Arizona is battling it out in a tough National League West division where most of the competition is already above .500. They've got to keep winning just to stay in the mix. Miami, meanwhile, is still trying to claw its way back to relevance over in the National League East. The Marlins are clearly in a rebuild phase, hoping to piece together a team that can make some noise sooner rather than later. Veteran lefty Eduardo Rodriguez brings a calm, steady presence to the mound, and he's expected to keep the Marlins' bats mostly in check. On the other side, Edward Cabrera has had trouble finding consistent command throughout his career, and that's something that might come into play again here. When it comes to slugging, there's a noticeable gap between these teams. Arizona ranks second in the majors with a solid .450 slugging percentage, while Miami is much further down the list at .372, sitting 21st in the league. Things tighten up slightly when runners are in scoring position. The Diamondbacks still have the edge with a .757 OPS compared to the Marlins at .720. Arizona also comes into this game riding a streak, having won the last 4 matchups against Miami. Both teams are entering this game with a little momentum. Arizona has taken 4 of its last 5, while Miami has won 3 out of its last 5 heading into Wednesday night's second game of the series. Rodriguez has been solid early on. He's struck out 20 batters in just over 16 innings and holds a respectable 1.2 WHIP. Cabrera is making just his second start of the year, and his first outing showed some of those familiar control problems. He walked 3 batters. That's not far off from last season's trend, where he gave up 50 walks over 96.1 innings. Arizona's lineup has too many weapons to allow that kind of traffic on the bases without making you pay. As our first pick for this matchup, the Arizona Diamondbacks money line is our full game side pick. Coming into Wednesday night, the Marlins have hit the over in 4 straight games, including the 1 game started by Cabrera this season. The Diamondbacks, who have been swinging with some authority lately, have also gone over the total in 3 of their last 5 games. Given that this is a day game following a night game, it's likely we'll see some lineup rotation, with bench guys getting a shot. That usually means a little less defense and a few more scoring chances. Neither bullpen has been lights out. Arizona relievers are carrying a 4.41 earned run average, ranking 25th, while Miami's bullpen earned run average is 4.15, sitting at 22nd. When these teams do make contact, they tend to get results. Arizona has a team BIP of .285, good for 13th in the league, and Miami is second in all of baseball with a .323 BIP in their recent matchups. These teams have combined to go over the total in 3 of the last 4 meetings. As our second pick for this matchup, over the projected total is our full game total pick. Washington Nationals versus Pittsburgh Pirates. The Pittsburgh Pirates are set to wrap up their homestand against the Washington Nationals with one final game at PNC Park. It's been a tough stretch for the Nationals, and with Williams starting, it's hard to imagine that turning around. So far this season, he's pitched just 14.2 innings and has already given up 23 hits and 12 runs. In his last outing, he gave up 8 hits and 6 runs to the Marlins, a team not exactly known for offensive fireworks. That kind of performance won't cut it. The Pirates need to make the most of matchups like this, especially when they're playing at home. Heaney, on the other hand, is the kind of veteran arm you can usually count on. He's averaging about 1 strikeout per inning and has allowed 6 runs across 18 innings. The odds are pretty reasonable here. Lately, Pittsburgh has been doing a solid job of getting on base, and they've started hitting more home runs, which is a good sign for their offense. Meanwhile, the Nationals have had a hard time winning on the road, and there's little reason to expect that to change in this one. Heaney has been difficult to square up at times, and that should work in Pittsburgh's favor. If they stay patient at the plate and string together some consistent at-bats, they'll give themselves a chance to come out on top. As our first pick for this matchup, the Pittsburgh Pirates money line is our full game side pick. The Nationals are averaging just 3.7 runs when they're away from home, and the Pirates are putting up about 3.2 runs in early day games. Pittsburgh should get chances to score, but this is a lineup that doesn't often break out for big numbers. With Heaney handling the early innings, it's likely the Nationals won't do much damage in the first half of the game. Expect a back and forth afternoon matchup where both teams struggle to pull away. It feels like the kind of game that stays tight and low scoring from start to finish. As our second pick for this matchup, under the projected total is our full game total pick. Seattle Mariners versus Cincinnati Reds. Things get rolling early on Thursday when the Reds welcome the Mariners for the series finale in Cincinnati. It's been a fairly even matchup lately, with Seattle coming out on top in 6 of the last 10 head-to-heads against the Reds. The Mariners come into this one riding some nice momentum, having won 4 of their last 5 games. The Reds aren't far behind, winning 5 of their last 7, but Seattle has a slight edge here. They've been swinging the bats well and have had success against Singer before. He's allowed 8 earned runs over his last 2 starts. That includes 4 runs in his most recent outing against Seattle. With the way the Mariners are hitting right now, slowing them down won't be easy for him. Cincinnati's offense might not be able to keep up. They've struggled against right-handed pitching, and Wu has been steady, allowing just 6 runs across 3 starts. Seattle's bullpen has also been sharp lately, which should help them clamp down on any threats from the Reds lineup. All signs point to Seattle keeping the Reds in check on the scoreboard. Seattle's had Singer's number in recent meetings, and that gives them another reason to feel confident. He's given up 4 runs in each of his last 2 starts against them, and took the loss both times while pitching for Kansas City. The Mariners have controlled this interleague series for a while now, going 20-6 overall against Cincinnati and winning 5 of the last 6, including Wednesday's game. The Reds' offense hasn't really shown much bite this season. They ranked 27th in MLB in OPS heading into Wednesday, sitting at just .607. Even in one of the most homer-friendly parks in the league, they've only hit 10 home runs across 11 home games in 2025. With Wu dealing on the mound and the Reds struggling to generate offense, Seattle looks like the better bet to close out the series with a win. As our first pick for this matchup, the Seattle Mariners money line is our full game side pick. Cincinnati has gone under the total in 4 of its last 6 games. On the season, they're putting up 4.12 runs per game, but that number jumps to 5.67 over their past 3 outings. Even so, they're hitting just .229 against right-handed pitchers, and they'll face one here who's been tough to score on. He's only allowed more than 1 run in one of his first 3 starts. Seattle is averaging 3.82 runs per game this year, and 5.33 over their last 3 games. But they're not lighting it up either, batting only .214 against righties. The Mariners are facing a starter who's given up 8 runs over 3 starts and 10 in his last 3 appearances against them. These 2 teams have gone under in 2 of their last 3 matchups. With a pair of solid pitchers starting and 2 offenses that haven't been consistently dangerous, the under makes a lot of sense for Thursday's game. The Reds are 2-5-1 against the over in their last 8 games and sit at 7-10-1 on the season. Seattle hasn't fared much better, coming in at 7-9-2. Cincinnati is holding opponents to just 5.93 hits per 9 innings, which is the best mark in the league, but they aren't hitting much either, averaging only 6.69 per 9, which ranks 28th. That combination of tight pitching and lackluster hitting points toward another low-scoring battle. As our second pick for this matchup, under the projected total is our full game total pick. Athletics versus Chicago White Sox. The Athletics and the Chicago White Sox are wrapping up their 3-game set on Thursday, bringing this short series to a close. Heading into this current stretch, the White Sox had actually held their own against the Athletics in recent meetings, coming out on top in 5 of the last 8 games between the 2 clubs. That includes taking 2 out of 3 at their home stadium, Wright Field, last season. Martinez has pitched well when facing Athletics, giving up just 2 earned runs over 9.1 innings and tallying 7 strikeouts. shutouts along the way. Chicago's pitching staff has done a decent job containing the Athletics' offense, holding them to 3 runs or fewer in 3 of the last 4 games. On paper, the White Sox have a noticeable edge on the mound. They're sitting in the top 10 across several pitching stats, including a solid 3.55 earned run average, while Athletics continues to hover near the bottom of those same categories. The Athletics had a rough time on the road last season, losing just over 61% of their away games. Meanwhile, the White Sox had a brief high point earlier this week when they took 2 out of 3 from the Red Sox at Wright Field. Even though Athletics got the win in the opener of this current series, they've still dropped 3 of their last 5 and just got blanked by the Mets over the weekend. They've now lost back-to-back series heading into this one. I know Sears has had his hands full with the White Sox lineup over the course of his career, but I'll stick with my gut here. Chicago just looks like they're already in that all-too-familiar midseason funk, and we're not even 20 games in. The offense isn't showing up, and games are slipping away from them. Davis Martin isn't a bad arm to lean on, but the Athletics have been handling right-handed pitching well lately. Honestly, against a lineup as soft as Chicago's, I'm not looking to fade Athletics. As our first pick for this matchup, the Athletics money line is our full game side pick. In 6 of the last 7 meetings between these two teams, the final score has landed under the projected run total. That includes a game at Wright Field last year where just 2 runs were scored total. Chicago's pitching staff has put together a tidy 2.86 earned run average in their previous 5 games against the Athletics. Neither club set the world on fire at the plate last season, and this year isn't shaping up to be much different. Chicago's sitting at 28th in the league with a .201 batting average. So, the chances of a breakout offensive performance from either side feel pretty slim. Earlier this week, the White Sox held the Red Sox to 3 runs or fewer in each game of their home series. In 3 of their last 5 contests, they've either matched or gone under the run total. Athletics' games have gone under in 2 of their last 3 as well. Put it all together, and there's a strong case for this one being a low-scoring game in Chicago on Thursday. As our second pick for this matchup, under the projected total is our full game total pick. San Francisco Giants versus Philadelphia Phillies. The San Francisco Giants are squaring off against the Philadelphia Phillies, and both teams are looking to keep the momentum going after solid starts to the season. The Giants are sitting at a 13-5 record, which has them near the top of the National League West standings. On the other hand, the Phillies are 10-8 and currently holding second place in the National League East. Both clubs have had encouraging showings early on, and this matchup feels like a good test for where they really stand. Now, I've seen the Giants offer solid value on the road in a lot of spots, and I think that's going to hold true as the season goes on. That said, Jordan Hicks isn't a guy I feel super confident in when it comes to this rotation. He throws hard, no doubt, but that extra heat comes at a cost. He runs out of gas too early, and when he does, he tends to get knocked around. That's exactly what happened in his most recent outing. The Phillies have already touched him up once before in his only career start against them, and I wouldn't be surprised if they do it again. I like the Giants more when they're facing right-handers, not lefties, and Christopher Sanchez is shaping up to be one of the more reliable southpaws in the game right now. As our first pick for this matchup, the Philadelphia Phillies money line is our full game side pick. When it comes to offense, the Phillies and Giants have been lighting it up, and that's especially true in this series so far. All 3 games have ended with the total going over. The Giants are really leaning into this trend. They've hit the over in their last 7 straight and in 10 of their last 13 games overall. They've also gone over in 10 out of 12 road games this season, which says a lot about how well they're hitting when they're away from home. The Phillies haven't been quite as consistent in that department, but even they've seen 4 of their 9 home games go over. With both squads showing they can put up runs, this feels like another one that could easily turn into a high-scoring battle. As our second pick for this matchup, over the projected total is our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed. Subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.